In these problems, we have to do something called evaluating. We have to evaluate these expressions. All that means is that they give you some numbers that sub in for the letters. So here it says s equals 4 and t equals 5. And we have to, and r equals 8. And we have to sub those in this expression and then calculate it, do the arithmetic. A couple other things that you might not know that'll be helpful. When you have two letters that are right next to each other, that means they're multiplied. So in this case, it's r times s minus s times t. So I'm just going to write it out that way. R times s minus s times t. And now I'm just going to take these numbers and go ahead and sub them in. So wherever I see an r, I'm going to put 8. So r times s is right away, it's 8. And wherever I see an s, I'm going to put a 4. So 8 times 4. Then I've got my minus sign. And then I've got s again, that's 4 times t, which is 5. So far, so good. The next step here is just to do the arithmetic, and it's really important that you know the correct order of operations. If you did the subtraction first here, 4 minus 4, that would not work. You have to do the multiplication first, and then the addition or subtraction. So there's actually an easier way to remember this. It's called PEMDAS. The first thing is do what's inside parentheses, then any exponents, like if you have a squared number, and then multiplication and division really come together. It doesn't matter which order between those two, and then addition and subtraction last. So in this one, we've got multiplication and subtraction. We have to do the multiplication first. So 4 times 8 is 32. I'm going to put my minus sign in, and 4 times 5 is 20. Now we have 32 minus 20 equals 12. So that's how to evaluate that expression. Let's look at another one like that. This one says evaluate AB plus BC. So that is A times B plus B times C. And it says A equals 0.7, B equals 3.9, and C equals 0.8. So we've got some decimals in there. But let's just start by subbing in the numbers. So A is 0.7 times B is 3.9. Then I have my plus. And then, let's see, B again, 3.9 times C is 0.8. Once again, according to the order of operations, I have to do my multiplication first and then add those two chunks together. I'm going to use my calculator on this one. I've got 0.7 times 3.9. That's 2.79. And then 3.9 times 0.8. That's 3.12. And then add those two together, and I get 5.91. All right, one more here. And this one has parentheses, and that's the P in PEMDAS. So you do the stuff that's inside the parentheses first. Well, we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's just try subbing in our numbers here. It says 5 times everything that's inside the parentheses, which is B plus C, when B is 8 and C is 5. So let's go ahead and do that. B is 8 plus C is 5. Now what we're going to do is add 8 and 5 together first because it's inside the parentheses. 8 and 5 is 13. And now we have this 5 parentheses 13. Well, let's move this up a little bit. That's the same thing as 5 times 13. 5 times 13 is 65. So that is how to evaluate expressions.